What's going on, guys? My name is Zay. Under the YouTube channel, Zay is Fresh. Um, I haven't made a video like this before. I wanted to make a video like this where I talk about mental health. I want to talk about, like, not mental health, but a little bit more profound topics, than I would cover on TikTok. You know what I mean? I want to just make videos about things I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about, morals and kind of like just profound topics. You know what I mean? Like topics that kind of dive deeper into like human morality and just kind of how people think. You know what I mean? And the first topic, I actually want to just completely record these all in one go and just go into what I'm gonna say and just say everything that's on my head in the video. And so, I think that kind of adds a human element to the video too, like it not being thought out, that allows you to really listen to the video more. And, I feel like with AI going around so much, the humanness of a video that is profound and where it's just somebody speaking, I feel like videos like that are very valuable. But today I actually want to talk about a topic I've been wanting to cover for a while. I want to talk about flexibility today, like being flexible as a human being and allowing yourself to grow, to grow and change and to bend and twist to fit different keyholes and different, in different scenarios in your life and different problems in your life and different hardships in your life. Learn to bend and twist and be flexible. You know what I mean? Flexibility. I think flexibility is really key. And just a lot of the things we do, just a lot of the I think it's key in almost every situation we deal with in just almost every facet of life. You can't have this strict code you can't have this strict code that you're going to act on, like this is how I act and I don't change it at all, because there are times when we need to act differently to meet a certain occasion. A lot of people, I see something a lot of people do. I won't name any names, obviously. I see a lot of people, how do I say this? Say that they are a certain way and let that be explain why they act that way. You know what I mean? Why they acted that way in this scenario. You know what I mean? They say, I'm an honest person. No, let's say, they say I'm an honest person, and so they're going to give you the blunt truth every time. They say I'm blunt, so I'm going to give you the blunt truth every time. So basically, in a scenario where, like, let's say I was dealing with a loss in my family, and this person came up to me, let's call him Jerry. Jerry comes up to me and says, well, he said some blunt shit, bro. He just said some blunt, why would you say that, Jerry? Like he says, well, everybody loses their family, bro. Everybody family die eventually, bro. It's harder things going on in the world, bro. You got to go on with your life. He says that to me while I'm facing a loss in the family, right? That didn't help me at all, and it was honestly emotionally insensitive. It was just insensitive to say to me. I'm in a place of hardship. I'm in a place of struggle. So it's probably insensitive to tell me, hey, everybody goes through this, bro. You got to keep moving, bro. Like in the way he puts it. And he says, and I say to him, I didn't appreciate you saying that. That was kind of inappropriate to say to me at this time. And he says, hey, I'm just blunt. I'm a blunt person. I'm going to always give you the blunt truth. I'm blunt. And I think a lot of people use the way they are as a reasoning to do what they do. I feel like people act a certain way because this is the way they are, rather than this is the way they are because of how they act. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will say, I am this, so I act like this. When really, your personality could never ever be constrained to a set of words and a set of topics and a set of decisions. Your character goes far beyond that. And it's important for you to never box yourself in and really put labels on yourself that could stop you from making like better decisions with your life, better decisions in your life, decisions that might even help you. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I say, I'm not a good dancer, so I will never learn how to dance. At this point, I am choosing not to be a good dancer because I've decided I'm a bad dancer. I'm choosing not to learn to be a better dancer because I've decided I'm a bad dancer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting myself in this box that doesn't let me grow. I feel like you need to and that's where I come back to my earlier point, let yourself grow. Like, you need to not put yourself in a box. You need to let yourself grow. You know what I mean? You need to like put yourself in, how do I say this? You need to kind of like remove the constraints. Don't constrain yourself to one personality. You know what I mean? Like, learn to bend and twist. Your character goes far beyond these descriptive words you've put on yourself, these labels you've thrown on yourself. You're so much more than a blunt person. You're a million things. You're a million things, I don't think there's like any good words I can really find to describe me other than like black man. You know what I mean? I'm not kind. There are times when I'm not kind. There are times when I'm not, there are times when I'm not mean either. There's times when I'm so many different things, and I do so many different things because I'm a person, and my character goes far beyond these descriptive words and these labels that I've tried to slap onto myself. You know what I mean? That people try to slap onto themselves, And it's important to have a sense of self, and it's important to affirm your sense of yourself. But remember, you are who you are because of the way you act, and you don't act because of who you are. I think that's very important to remember. Like, I think that's so important. Your actions can be whatever you want them to be, and then you are your actions. So basically, if I was mean for my whole life up to this point, you might say I'm a mean person, right? If from this point going forward, I'm never mean again and I'm always kind, I'm a kind person. And that sounds kind of dumb. That sounds kind of basic. This is it's not scripted at all. So I'm just talking off my head, but it's your actions that define you. You know what I mean? It is not, and it's not even your past actions. It is your actions, what you are doing. It is the present that defines you. It is the present that defines you. It is the present and the future that define you. I think that's so important to remember. It is the present and the future that define you. Remember that. That's so important to remember. That was a bomb. I can't lie. That was a bomb, bro. Like, drop the mic. Holy cow. I just said something, bro. But yeah, I think it's very important to learn to bend and twist and to allow ourselves to be what we need to be, to be whatever we need to be in any given moment. You know what I mean? I could say I don't like to go out of my comfort zone, right? And use that. I feel like we use who we are, not who we are. I feel like we use who we think we are as an excuse consistently. A lot of people, I think we, me included, we use who we are as an excuse consistently. You know what I mean? And I just think that it holds so many people back, Just remember, like, you can be so much more than the labels you've put on yourself, or then you could be so much more than what you've done. What describes you is what you do, not what you've done, what you do, what you're going to do, what you do. Because this person, right? Let's say there's a person who was a psychopath up to this point. If they never ever make another psychopathic decision again for the rest of their life, they're not a psychopath. They're not a psychopath. It's what you're going to do that describes you. It's what you do, not what you've done. I think it's just so important to look toward the future. And I feel like that's, a very good stopping point in this video. I'm glad that I could, talk about something a little bit more deep, get deep. Let's Get Deep, episode 1. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. Let's Get Deep. And I'm just gonna start putting out these videos, bro. Minimal editing, and I feel like this is P. I like this. I like this video format. You know what I mean? I might get a better setup soon. As you can see, my computer and stuff is behind me, bro. But yeah, I'm just trying to grow, man. I'm just trying to do work, man. Just work on my online persona, bro. See where I want to go with all this, man. I really do want to build a following on YouTube. I already got a little bit of one on TikTok. I got 2,000 followers. But yeah, go check me out on there if you haven't already, bro. But much appreciated if you watch the video. I'm sure no one's, maybe someone will watch the video. You know, I don't want to put negativity in this video before it's even published, but you know, thank you for watching. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.